sign. I want the corners to align. You're just too much to capture. You're just too much to capture. You're just too much to capture. And will my current memory fade to a distant southern sea? And will the future ever be? You're just too much to capture. You're just too much to capture. With so much for that picture now. It's sad to say you won't be an image for the crowd. Who really cares about a portrait that could shine? To capture moments all the time, leave it all behind. Leave it all behind. I never got the picture right. I burn it up in Fahrenheit. I just wanna feel alive. You're just too much to capture. You're just too much to capture. So much for that picture now. It's sad to say you won't be an image for the crowd. Who really cares about a portrait that could shine? To capture moments all the time, leave it all behind. Just leave it all behind. So long to you. There's everything that you want to know. So long, so soon. It's just a picture, let it go. So long to you. It's everything we carved in stone. So long, so soon. It's just a picture, let it go. Sometimes I feel like I got what I wanted. Cigarettes and cinnamon. Just one more time to find, yeah, what it's like to fly. I wanna see outside the lines. And sometimes I feel there's just so much for letting go. I try to rewrite words engraved in stone. I find out what's with all the little things. I turn it up while no one's listening. And I can be one of the lighter things, the lighter flaming get this happening. Sometimes I feel like you got what you wanted, better than you've ever been. Just one more time to find out what it's like to fly. You wanna see outside the lines, and some
Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the SharpSHOOTers. As my co-host takes a sip because he's feeling a little under the weather. As usual, we're your hosts, Danny and Juice. How you doing tonight, Juice?
I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there. It's been a quite a week and a half.
Lots of ups and
I like to
downs.
thank a lot of ups and downs. Thank you all for joining us here, either live or on demand. And yeah, we know it's been a minute. We hope you all enjoyed your holidays and enjoyed the little break. And now we're back to it. We're going to do our Shooty Awards, which is our end of the year awards, to determine the best and worst in wrestling for the year. And this year it's a little different, where rather than have three people and we all vote best two out of three, this year we're just doing it where Danny gets a vote, I get a vote, and we can still debate it if we want, but for the most part, we all just get our votes in.
Yeah,
So
for sure. And we haven't seen each other's picks, which is very important.
nope.
So it's going to be pretty much a live reaction. So we don't know if we
Yes.
picked anything the same or different. We assume hopefully a lot different. And yeah, just an extra word of why we don't get to it is because we got betrayed by our third co-host who decided to go live a life and not be with us anymore. So that's just why things changed this year. In case anyone was curious, thank you, Matt. Just want to put that out there.
So mean.
All right. So we're going to get right into it tonight because we got a lot of awards to go through. So no trivia, no card opening. Sorry about that, but we're going to go right into the awards right now. Here we go. Oh, hold on, wait.
Bum, 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 bum.
Hold on a second. I don't know which window it is.
It's the most prestigious day of the year. Welcome everybody. All the big names are here
I might
in
need the
the
producer.
in the chat.
I don't know.
Hello everybody. Welcome
Screen
to the
clear.
2024 Shooties. Man, what a tough crowd.
I
How y'all
just
doing
don't know what
tonight?
screen the producer put the shooties on, so I need him
Danny-
to get down here. Unfortunately, I don't have my
Danny-
cell phone either.
Danny, I know. Let me vamp while you do that.
Go ahead. All right, I'm gonna go get him.
Oh man.
John,
Uso brothers, am I right?
I need you.
Woof. Like, what are we doing? Eating and yachting all over the place? Quit your stalling.
I don't know.
Give him the hook. Get him out of here. Yeah, so Hammerstein Ballroom was awesome. I'm gonna tell all of you about it and not Danny. But I touched Tony Storm's hand twice. She held it, gave it a nice squeeze. That was very nice. Yeah, matches were all amazing. There's only like one bad match all weekend, but Jericho sucks because he shouldn't be Ring of Honor champion. Um, let's see what else. What else went down? I ended up front row the whole second night, which was dope. Third night, I was in the balcony on the side. That was cool. So like, nobody was in our way. No one was blocking us. Just full view of the ring. Being that close, like I haven't done that in like a long time. So that was really cool. Just to feel that again at a wrestling show. It's been a long time doing that. Yeah. It's very cold. Very cold waiting outside. The wait on the line was like an hour just to get in every night. Probably could have gotten there a little later, but got us in quick and soon. Hammerstein. Hammerstein's an awesome venue, though. I used to go all the time for Ring of Honor, so this was nice to go for a change. And for AEW and Ring of Honor again, the whole Final Battle thing. I thought that was really neat. Um,
I'm back.
yeah. Oh,
All right.
cool. Well,
Fixed it.
all right.
Sorry about that delay. Hope you guys enjoyed hearing about Hammerstein from what I heard.
We lost all of our viewers. Thank you.
All the shows were great. We lost all our viewers. I apologize, viewers. I hope you guys come back soon. All right. So here we go. Now it looks good. Now we're up. Let me know when you see it, Juice. These are looking
Yay.
on our 2024 The SHOOtie Awards. Thank you, producer, for making our new layout a little more high res. So hopefully it looks good for everybody. All right. So let's get right into it. First award we are giving out is the TV Debut of the Year. Now, just so we're clear about this, TV debut means kind of like a call-up to the main roster, but AEW doesn't have a main roster. So pretty much any main show, Raw, SmackDown, or Dynamite, debut. That was our criteria for the TV Debut of the Year. Any...
Or Collision. Or
Or
Collision.
Collision,
How dare
that's
you.
fair. I apologize about that. Any
And also
choices you
just
weren't
for
sure
what...
about?
Well, and for what it's worth, also Ring of Honor and Impact. Like, this is all wrestling. I know we mainly watch those two, but this is... All wrestling is encompassed here in these categories.
That's totally fair. I'm just talking about. Obviously, I picked between AEW and WWE because I don't really watch too much Impact or Ring of Honor.
Well, just saying, show some love.
All right, so TV Debut of the Year. I mean, one guy that jumped to mind, and I almost picked him. He was the closest one to NXT. Funny enough, because of TNA was Joe Hendry when he debuted with WWE for some pay-per-views, but that wasn't really a WWE debut because it was mainly NXT, so that's why I didn't go with him. I kind of hope he shows up in the Royal Rumble this year. That would be pretty dope. And then really not a lot of choices. Some NXT call-ups. Carmelo Hayes really fell flat for me, and some of the women had some good call-ups, so it was a hard choice between some of the women's and the choice I picked.
Yeah, I don't know. This one didn't really have too many good options in my opinion, but then one hit me like a ton of bricks, and I was like, it's a no-brainer.
All right, let's find out.
I'm good to go. And the winners are...
Braun Breaker and Tony Storm.
Right. So I just saw it now, Danny. It's just a heads up.
Yeah.
So you got to give me... I'm saying you got to give me a second.
I forgot that. Yeah, you got the delay. My apologies.
All right.
So,
TV debut, Braun Breaker. Yeah.
So I figured Braun Breaker was a good choice. I mean, he hit WWE like a ton of bricks. Won the Intercontinental Championship, was in a bunch of good rivalries, and a lot of his matches have been really good. Sami Zayn, even mid-card Jey Uso for Matt there. But so yeah, for me it was Braun Breaker. I'm not gonna lie. Now that I see Toni Storm, totally forgot that she did her debut this year. This past year.
She just debuted
I know.
a few weeks ago at
AEW.
AEW. Like, that's awesome. Like, all elite, you know what I mean?
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's amazing. So good for her. And
I can't stand you.
What? It's her debut. And also, to be fair, I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, we're both pulling a little bit here because Braun Breaker did wrestle on the main roster like in 02 and 22 and 23. So
yeah, but
he may have had the call up.
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah. Killer Tomato. If you've been watching, Toni Storm just debuted in AEW like 2 weeks ago, and she's so happy to be there. Nice young upstart.
She's
hoping to win the AEW
herself to a lot of
women's.
people.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I like
the
it.
program, Killer Tomato. What's going on here? All right, next
Yeah,
award we
welcome
have.
to the show. Let's go.
Comeback of the Year. Out of curiosity, what was your criteria for comeback of the year?
Anybody that returned.
Was it
from an injury?
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was injury or just a return.
What else? What else would they come back from?
Well,
you mean like
some people just being retired or unretired? I don't know if there was anyone who fit into that category. I went with injury too. I just wasn't sure if there was anything else that you were thinking of with it.
Yeah, no, it was just injury. I can't think of anybody that really did the other thing. But it was mainly just whoever came back from injury and had the best addiction, jail. Thank you, Killer
Those
Tomato.
are choices, Killer Tomato. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah.
The winners. I'm gonna pause this time. I promise.
Hit it. There it is. The winners are Liv Morgan for Danny and Mercedes Monet for yours truly, the Juice Box.
I like both picks. I think both picks are strong. Like both women had really strong years. Both women are current champions. I think both women are huge storyline for each show. Like Monet is really the only women's storyline that I can really think of besides this great Tony Storm one coming. Because they just finished the Mariah May one that's over now. So right now, like Monet has the only like current real storyline with Statlander that just kind of finished, and then Liv Morgan just continuing this route with Rhea Ripley and everything. I think she had a great year coming back and like kind of taking over the Judgment Day. Tomato. I just can't with him tonight.
I was gonna make a joke like that, but I let it go.
Classy.
I just think I think Mercedes had a lot more to prove. I'm not compared to Liv. I'm just saying compared to other people that came back from injuries, Mercedes had a lot to prove going from one company to another. The injury, really bouncing back, and like she could have had a dud of the year and like crawled back to WWE. So I think she had a very strong comeback year. So yep.
Agreed.
Congratulations to Liv and Mercedes.
So far, I like all picks so far. Nothing the same. Let's see if that continues. Most improved.
Ooh.
This is gonna be interesting. I want to see what you pick for most improved. Any choices you were kind of contemplating between?
No, I mean this could have been a ton of people. It's really just who's improved the most in the ring, on the mic, the total package. Maybe somebody that really kind of found their lane in 2024.
I like that. That's
so-
kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So I can for surely say then you didn't pick Jade Cargill, which is great. All right, here we go. Most improved.
Shots fired.
Ooh,
What we got?
interesting.
There we go. All right. Nice. Mariah May and Daniel Garcia are the winners of the 2024 Shootie Award, Comeback of the Year.
No,
I mean, for most improved. Sorry.
So
Yes, for most improved. Okay.
I love the Daniel Garcia pick. I think he went from us thinking that we weren't sure if he was being re-signed with the company. There was like a month there where he was kind of like not in storyline stuff, and then really just came back on fire. Really was main focus of the AEW like kind of frontline storyline before the Continental Classic stuff. Won the championship from Jack Perry. Like really been doing a lot of good stuff as of late. So I really like that pick for you.
Yeah, and Mariah May. I think she really. I get what you're saying with most improved. I mean, I think she was already at that level. I think you were just intentionally as a viewer not getting it or seeing it yet in that sense. Not like you as a fan. I'm saying like she was holding back.
Oh,
like you weren't really getting the real Mariah May until about halfway in. But I liked the pick. I'm okay with it. But I think it was by design. But I mean, hey, it worked on you, so that's good.
There you go. All right.
Nice.
Commentator of the year. This one,
Ooh.
I think we might have picked the same one. Because
I don't know, Danny.
there's not really a lot of choices we can pick here. None of the WWE commentators are really that great.
Yeah, I don't think we did. I went a different way this year.
Interesting.
Jay
you picked
says Tony
Schiavone,
Schiavone.
like Jay DeFalco said.
I went a different way this year. I'll explain when the winners pop up. But
So without further ado,
let's do it.
let's introduce the winners. Oh my God! I did not expect your pick.
There we go. Danny going with Nigel McGuinness, and myself going with Daddy Magic,
I
Matt
don't hate your
Menard.
pick. I just didn't expect it.
I thought about it, and I just, I still love Excalibur. I still love Nigel, but I think Menard this year getting a lot of time doing his work on Rampage, which rest in peace Rampage now, unfortunately, and on the 0 hours, I've really grown to. And even on Collision, just his energy is infectious in that way. Like when he's like, "It's Friday night, boys," and or Saturday night, boy. Like just he's very good in his role and doing what he's doing. I think he's really finding his lane. So I had to give. I think he's very deserving of some love, especially this year. And I hope he gets more opportunities in the new year, especially with Angela Parker being out with the pregnancy and all that. Like in supporting Ruby. I think this has been good for him. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's my vote.
I totally agree. The only reason I didn't really consider it is because he hasn't been off. Like Rampage is his main thing, and he does Collision a lot, which is he does Collision pretty much every week now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Menard, yeah, kind of. I guess I think
not like
not all.
every week, but and I think that's why I didn't pick him or didn't consider him was because he's like as much as rest in peace Rampage, I want him on consistently on the main show. I want him consistently on Collision or consistently on Dynamite because I do think he's really
Yeah.
doing great work. Where Nigel, I think, just kind of took over Collision this year, and
Mhm.
I
Oh yeah.
it went from I remember when Collision first started out where we were just like, oh man, they really got to fix this commentary. The commentary isn't that great.
Well,
To Nigel
yeah.
coming in and being like, this is my show now, and it's worked
Well,
great.
yeah, that was Kevin Kelly. But
No,
yeah,
I understand that, but I'm just saying, even if it wasn't Kevin Kelly, I think Nigel coming in, right? Kelly would have been great. Nigel coming in really just solidified how like it's his show. Like Collision is his show. That's his main thing, and he is the voice of Collision in my opinion. So I think that's why I gave it to him.
all right, good stuff.
All right. This one we're gonna take a little turn to the unfortunate this year with the most devastating injury. Can you give me a hint? Did you go AEW or WWE?
Well, I went to AEW.
Oof. All right. There's a lot.
There was really only two ways I could have gone, and I went with the one that for me hurt more in terms of like them being able to keep going in the year and what they've accomplished at that point. So yeah.
I think I went with like if I got this injury, how sad I would be. That's how I thought of it. And there was one specific injury that was more recent that happened that I was just like, if that happened to me, man, I'd be so sad. And this might be a little more recency bias because, like you said, there was a lot of like, I mean, there were a lot of injuries this year. I don't think any like gruesome ones, but there were a few that were just like, oh. All right, let's see. The winners are, Eddie Kingston's injury.
There you go.
Yeah.
And Brosen Reed.
Yeah, that I was typing a lot of stuff quickly to the producer, and he wasn't able to spell check. So that is my apologies. I should have spell checked before getting on here. But Bronson Reed's double ankle injury was so sad to me. It looks so painful, so bad. That much weight coming off that top of the cage onto both ankles is just oof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was between Eddie and Copeland. But I went with Eddie mainly because, well, spoiler alert for anyone that didn't watch World's End, at least Copeland's back and Eddie's still out.
Yeah.
So that hurts.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I looked at it as not the injury itself, more as the loss to the company or the talent and what they were doing. That's how I take most devastating.
That's fair.
Also, yeah, because like if I was going by the injury itself, I would have picked Chris Bay, who I don't know if you're familiar with from TNA. He had a very severe neck injury back during the summer, and he's still out. And like it's to the point where like it was during a taping, and it was so gruesome. Like no one's like showing footage or really talking about it, but it was apparently
terrible. That sucks.
Apparently, it was a really bad neck injury, but he's alive, but he's still out. So, but yes, Eddie Kingston, Bronson Reed, most devastating injuries of 2024, as voted by us, your SharpSHOOTies.
All right. Next up, a new category for this year.
Yes,
One of my personal favorites.
The meatiest man of 2024. Let's go.
Meatiest man. I don't even want to think of all the possibilities. There's a lot of possibilities we could pick for meatiest man. Let's just go right to the answer, right to the reveal. Oh,
who's it gonna be?
All right.
There it is. The meatiest men.
I was thinking of Powerhouse, especially after I was watching him this past weekend. I was just like, oh, that is a big boy.
I gotta tell you, I originally had someone on here much smaller just to make you mad, and then I watched Takeshita versus Hobbs, and I was like, that is a man, and I put him as my winner. So,
Can I
Powerhouse
ask
Hobbs.
Who was the original one?
Powerhouse Hobbs, you have earned this shootie. Congratulations, you are the meatiest man of 2024, as voted on by yours truly. And as for the name that I was going to upset you with, I just wrote Claudio.
That
Someone
wouldn't
that
have made
like
sense. I'm upset just by you thinking of that.
exactly.
He's not even meaty. This has nothing to do with
Yet,
the big man argument. This is literally he's not a meaty person.
and yet Walter is more or less the same as Claudio, and here you are putting him as your big man. But I digress.
All right. So, well, we're getting into a different argument now. All right,
Next
I'm just moving
award.
on. Spot of the year, and I think I want to know what our halfway is. I should check something, but it's all right. Spot of the year. So this we talked about offline. We were saying it could be a moment, it could be an actual spot in the match, it could be something that happened outside the match. So whatever we just was very memorable to us. So yeah, I mean, there were so many freaking spots this year. I honestly didn't know what to pick from. So I kind of just picked with the one that I was just like even now I think about it, I'm just like, holy shit, how did he do that? And that's kind of what I went with this one.
Yeah. This is a new category for us this year. If you watched our show last year, it was not there. But if you want to watch our show from last year, click the link down below, the link tree. You can go to our YouTube page for the SharpSHOOTers, and all of our old episodes are on there, including last year's Shooty Awards. They're all in numbered order, so you can find it very easily from a year ago around right now. And yeah, let's dive in. Let's do some spots. Let's see what the moment spot of the year is for the Shooties.
Oh, our first one that is the same.
I'll say, for what it's worth, I'm sure you also wrote more specifically, but mine is the specific ladder through the glass to the outside spot.
Yes.
I thought that was insane. That was the first thing I thought of. Had to give it some love and appreciation because it was just amazing.
Agreed. I mean, going through that by yourself was terrifying to me. How you could do that to yourself, and the fact that he was able to finish the match and stuff, and it was for Singh's retirement. I mean, it was all there for it. Definitely spot of the year. I'm very happy that we both picked the same one, but there were so many options we could have picked from this year, so that was pretty crazy. But no, awesome spot of the year. Congratulations, Darby, our first unanimous winner of 2024.
Yes.
All right, now we got Best Booker. And just to give you a little preview, we also have Worst Booker coming up. So we're going to start off with Best Booker.
Well, yeah, we do that with a lot of our categories. We have Best and Worst. We want to equal opportunity.
Share the love.
The best and the worst. I mean, there's no such thing really as a best or devastating injury. So we didn't really do it for everything. Or the less meatiest, no meat men, like a vegan award. Doesn't really work.
Hey, Daniel Bryan.
What? I'm sorry. Who?
Brian Danielson.
Thank you. Yeah. So let's dive in. We're gonna do the best booker and the worst booker of 2024 in wrestling.
All right.
So let's take a look here. Who we got for our best booker of the year?
Best book. Okay. So I have Tony Khan, and I see what you're doing, and you have Tony Khan AEW as your best booker of the year. So. Yeah. I think unanimous here.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely not Papa H. It's definitely not HBK. It may be simple and boring and tight, but it's just not exciting television. It's not booked well. It's very lazy. But they do.
That's where I'm going to disagree a little bit. I think where I went with was for Triple H and them that, in my opinion, they've been coming on more recently. And not so much the entire year. So when I'm thinking of Booker of the Year, definitely not them. I would say like up until maybe Survivor Series. I'm not even talking about the pay-per-views. I'm just talking about like some of the storylines and the bookings. They've been a little bit better, like Raw and SmackDown lately. So I'm not going to say they were terrible all year, but they definitely aren't the best of the year.
Well, Danny, that's why we call it Booker of the Year, not Booker of the Month.
I agree.
Moving on to Worst Booker of the Year for 2024. I think we can roll right on into this one.
Roll right into it.
And the winners are Triple H and Tony Khan in Ring of Honor. So Tony Khan with the prestigious Best Booker and Worst Booker award of the
First
year.
time ever.
By yours truly.
First time ever.
First
Someone's
time
won the
ever.
best and worst of a category.
He is the best and the worst Booker of the year. Tony Khan, for the love of God, please give the book over to somebody,
Agreed.
anybody else in Ring of Honor, and they will do a better job than you.
All right.
That's it.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a commercial break here. Please
Yes,
stay
the big
tuned.
stuff's coming.
Yes.
Big stuff incoming.
Please stay tuned. While you're waiting, please maybe give us a sub. That'd be great, especially if you have Amazon Prime. In the chat is how you could subscribe using your Amazon Prime, completely free for you, and helps us out. If you be so kind, it's all there. If not, if you could just subscribe anyway, that'd be awesome as well.
Yeah, it's
follows
still the
on the
holidays.
link tree.
It's still the holidays. I'm sure a lot of people got Amazon Prime for Christmas.
I
or
agree.
Hanukkah.
Help us
Or
out.
Kwanzaa.
All right, we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Or Boxing Day.
Or Boxing Day.
Or for funsies.
Oh, God.
Ooh. Ooh.
I picked the wrong.
Ooh.
There we go.
Times you feel it's just too much for letting go. I try to rewrite words engraved in stones. Find out what's with all the little things. I turn it up while no one's listening. And I can be one of the lighter things to light a flame and get this happening. And you were locked inside your room, and so bad things can ensue. Or should I give in to you till we fall in love too soon?
Snar.
Hello, everyone, and we are back to continue our SHOOTie Awards of 2024. We had just
Yeah.
finished best and worst booker, and now we are moving on to pretty much all our best and worst of. Next is the
These are the big
stables.
boys.
So, best stable of the year. Interesting to see what we picked here. And the winners are... Interesting.
There we go. Really?
Yeah, I knew you would
Really?
hate mine. I knew you would hate mine, and that's okay.
Come on, man.
It's okay.
What did they do to make anything better being on television as a stable? I'm being serious.
I'm
Not
talking
even as
about
a
the
hater.
stable itself. The stable itself was all over TV for many months. They
Uh,
won at one point all champions. All right, regardless of how you feel about their title reigns. 2 of those champions, I would argue, defended their belts often enough, or were in matches often enough where I think they had respectable title reigns, whether you like the wrestlers or not. One of them is still,
no. They did not have respectable title
that's
reigns.
your opinion, and that's totally fine. One of them is still the current champion. Like, the Elite is still technically has a champion in them. Who knows what's happening with the other 3? We'll find out. But as far as the year goes, they arguably had the longest and most successful run as a stable in AEW when you consider titles and everything else.
Okay. I mean, I'm really being honest here. I think they held the tag division hostage all year, set it back a big way, and every single time Perry had a TNT title defense, it was legit the most boring, worst match on the show with no reaction. So, yes, you have belts, and yes, you have lengths. You can look back at the record books, but I don't think. And Okada was floundering all year until the Continental Classic, which was done to rejuvenate him to what he should be the whole time. So, all right. I mean, listen, it's your pick. I don't agree with it, but so be it. I went with the conglomeration just because they came out of nowhere from nothing, completely made up promo name from the name. They had a hell of a run throughout the summer and a little bit even in the spring and the fall. I think they've been immensely fun to watch. Everybody coming in and out, and that's it. Just a fun stable, just something going on all year with great matches, great promos backstage, and I mean everybody's in it. I'm even in the conglomeration, so it's been great. Yeah,
Once you say you're in it, so it's fantastic.
that's it. That's all it is.
So next up, then, we have the worst stable. Interesting to see where you go. Or we possibly can have a real argument. No, just kidding.
This one was tough. I'll tell you. One thing I made a point to do, and I wasn't gonna do it. I was gonna do it. I made a point not to do it. I had this as a tie at first, but I wanted to avoid any ties. I wanted to just pick a person or pick a stable or thing, you know.
Okay.
This was one of the main ones that had a lot of ties. So it took a minute, but
So who are some of the ones you didn't pick that you were like about to?
Oh, brother, well, I don't want to spoil it based on. I don't want to say them all, and then whatever's left is left. But
Right, so
once you bring it up,
give me one.
Once you bring it up,
all right.
Yeah, bring it up, and then I'll say it.
There we go. Look at that. In agreement.
Get out of here.
The Judgment Day.
Overstayed their welcome. It's terrible.
Still overstaying their welcome. Currently still overstaying their welcome. Even at their high point, I feel like they really dropped the ball with the Damian Priest reign, the tag team reigns. They could have done so much better with both of them, and they didn't. I think just the way they presented the stable fell flat, and the fact that they're still trying to present it as like the top stable in the company, and it's clearly not, is also just really boring for me. Yeah. I almost put the Bloodline though. I was torn between the two of them.
I had it as a tie. Listen, man, I had Bloodline. I had the Learning Tree. I
thought you were gonna put the Learning Tree.
I had the Final Testament. Like I had them all like slash. It's just not been a good year for stables and teams like that.
Specifically, WWE stables though. Like most of the WWE stables are falling flat, which is pretty disappointing. But like most of those you named were WWE, even American Made. They're also like not doing anything. They're just there.
So somebody replied to one of the comments in our post on our Sharpshooters Facebook, which, by the way, Sharpshooters page out of Facebook now. Go check it out and join us for some commentary fun.
Yes, sir.
Somebody replied with their votes, and they voted for LWO as the worst stable of the year. And I replied back to them. I had no clue LWO even still existed because
Yeah.
like they don't do anything anymore. So it just goes to show you, there's
They
a
are
lot of
in
bad.
name only.
Yeah. So all right, I think we did good. Well done.
Like it. All right. This one's going to be good. Best feud or storyline of the year.
Ooh.
And here we had, again, lots of good choices. Sting's retirement, Bryan Danielson's retirement. You had so many good rivalries between Punk and McIntyre. You had the Gunther Sammy rivalry. Depending on what you like, you had the Cody Roman like you had so many good storylines, so many good feuds to choose from. So let's see what we picked.
Let's do it.
I like it. I like both of those.
There
picks.
we go. Nice. Yep. Yeah, no complaints. Those are both Hangman Swerve for Danny and Tony Storm and Mariah May for yours truly, the Juice Box. Yeah, I mean, they were two of the best stories. Hangman Swerve was on my list, not as a tie, but just when I was thinking about it. But I went with the one that I thought had like the most longevity over the course of the year. Like, I think I think back when I look back on 2024 as a year, what was the defining storyline of something from that year? And this was right from the beginning of the year. It's still technically kind of going now, or it's going to circle back in the new year, but it just did its job so well of elevating this person and the kind of the ships crossing each other kind of thing. So yeah.
No, I totally agree.
Nice.
And then Hangman Swerve, I mean, that was just one of those blood feuds that was just great. That was literally rearing its ugly head and was spilling into other feuds and storylines, which also made it so interesting to me. Excuse me. And then you have the iconic burning of the house moment that just keeps getting referred to. Just everything about that feud I loved and was just really memorable for me this year. So, yeah, I like both choices. I think both choices are great.
I almost went with Drew and Punk, but I couldn't.
Drew
Almost went with it.
and Punk was on my list also. I mentioned them before. Drew and Punk was, that was. Honestly, I thought CM Punk was one you might have picked for comeback also. I wasn't sure.
You know what it is? I think of like when I think of Drew and Punk and then Tony Mariah, you just think about how they are in the beginning of it and coming out of it, and it's like Punk and Drew didn't really come out of it like any better. It was great, but like it didn't do for them.
And even the setup for Punk and Drew was an accident. Like Mariah and Tony, that was really well done and really like set up from the beginning. Punk and Drew was an accident at the Royal Rumble that they just were able to capitalize on, which is great. But like that wasn't meant to happen as strong as it did. So no, I agree with that. I think the Mariah May Tony Storm was a better pick.
And if Punk wrestled more and did more than just that one like trilogy this year, the comeback of the year would have probably maybe been a consideration, but he didn't really do too much coming back. So
And yeah, that's another reason why I didn't pick him, even though I kind of wanted to.
all right, worst
feud.
Worst feuds and storylines.
Bro,
oh,
I was
brother.
so close. I was so close to picking yours.
It's just
so close.
everything with the Wyatt Six. Because you know what? At least the bloodline, while it's not connecting with me and I don't care for it, it's connecting with people and it's hitting with people. If they're digging it, they're loving it, fine. Wyatt Six, I still think is disgusting. It's gross to even be doing it. It's shameful. It's not even getting over to a fraction of what it deserves to be
so
under
true,
Bray Wyatt's
man.
name.
Like
It stinks.
They're trying to bring this as a memorial to Bray, and no one cares, and they're not doing it well. So just stop doing it. Like, it's not disrespectful. I don't think it's disrespectful. I just don't think it's doing the job. And if it's not doing what it's meant to do, just stop. Like, let everyone do something. Because and it was funny. It wasn't until they were wrestling this past Monday that I forgot. Like, Dexter Lumis, I liked Dexter Lumis before he joined Wyatt Six. He was doing good stuff, and now I forgot he was in the Wyatt Six till he was just in the match this past week. Like, it just Nikki Cross, even, like, I've always been a fan of Nikki Cross. I like the kind of different type of woman wrestling style than just like your generic technical wrestler. I like that kind of like Mankind hardcore style. But even her, they were messing her up before this, but like she's just a scary ring figure. It looks like I don't know what she's doing either. So no, I agree. Wyatt Six is terrible. And Bloodline I had to go with just because like we joke about it every week, but like it just gets progressively worse. Like it's a storyline that is the main event that is just every week like Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? This is rushed. This is stupid. This is bad. Where's The Rock? The Rock's gone. The Rock is here. Like, so much stuff that is just like so many holes and questions in a storyline that's supposed to be your main event feud for over a year. This is now like a 3 or 4 year story that just has a different chapter that is just getting worse. So that's why I picked them.
Yeah. All said. No disagreements there.
All right.
Let's go. What do we got next?
Best match.
Ooh,
match
big one
of the year. I'm excited for this one. There were, again, a number of options we could have went with. I don't know where you went. I think I know where you went, but there's so many matches that he did. I don't know which Bryan Danielson match you might have picked.
You're probably wrong.
But
we'll see.
You went with CM Punk, didn't you, son of a bitch? Here we go. Best match of the year. Ah, ha, 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 ha.
There it is.
I was right.
Ospreay versus Danielson at Wrestle Dynasty.
Bro, that match
was a match of the year. I was between this, Ospreay and Swerve at Forbidden Door for selfish reasons. Danielson and Swerve at All In, but I thought about it, and then also Punk and Drew. And a dark horse one more was Cody versus AJ at Backlash, which I thought was an amazing match.
That's awesome.
So those are
the dark horse, not really dark horse, but dark horse I was considering was the Gunther Sammy match at WrestleMania. I thought that was a great internal title match. But just when I think of like throw out storyline for a second, when I just think of pure wrestling match and just like the things they can do and everything, nothing beat Ospreay versus Danielson this year. That thing was a classic, and it's one of those matches where I can't get tired of rewatching, and that's how I know it's one of my favorite matches ever.
And honestly, I also almost considered Ospreay Takeshita at Revolution. Like,
ooh, that would
a lot of good stuff.
Horse. Yeah,
there's a lot of good matches this year. A lot of good stuff.
A couple of common names in those great matches. Interesting. And then we go to the worst match of 2024.
Yes.
Now I have no idea where you went with this one.
I'm gonna admit, I might have not done this one as much justice as I probably could have. I kind of just went with the first match that popped in my head, and then from there, no matter how much I thought about other matches, nothing was beating this in my head. So I kind of just gave up. I gave up before I probably could have done more research, but I feel okay with what I picked.
Where
Texas Chainsaw.
That wasn't this year. I wish that was last year.
It's that bad, yeah.
But it's that bad that it just lives in your memory forever. You know what? I wouldn't be upset if you put that.
Texas Chainsaw in my dreams.
But what I did with worst match was I was trying to figure out. All right, obviously the match itself is going to be bad. That's a given. But what about like the story? And this is where I kind of went the opposite of best match. How did it fuck up the story? Did the story really like mess up from it? Was it something that I had high expectations for going in and then really like didn't deliver going out? So that's where I went with that. So let's see what we have here.
Let's see.
Wow. I did not expect you to pick that. I'm not going to lie.
There you go.
That's awesome.
That was the first match popped in my head, and I feel like it's kind of lazy, but like I couldn't think of anything that was more just disappointing and bad, and just in every way it did not live up to anything that it could have and should have been. Not that my expectations were even high; they weren't. But your brothers, like, what are you doing?
That's where I disagree. Is that my expectations were a little bit high for this one because I figure like this is what these two have been waiting for. Like they've been waiting for that singles match. They've been waiting for that WrestleMania match. It's brother versus brother. They've really done that part of the storyline. At least was working, even though they went on a break and put him on Raw. When they revisited it, everyone was like, you know what? Who cares? Like, we really want to see the payoff of these two go at it. So, like, it's worth it to wait for WrestleMania. And then WrestleMania hit, man, and it was just, like, arguably the worst match of the night, like, of the weekend. It was so bad. It was so disappointing. It was so repetitive. It was so boring. Everything you described and more. It was just sucked. So I'm glad we both picked that. That's great.
Honestly, there probably was a worse match out there, and I didn't do it justice. Well, but either way,
here's the argument I had: is that there are 100% worse matches out there, but those matches are like on Raw or Smack. Like I'm not gonna
actually
go ahead.
Sorry, no, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I'm sorry. No, please.
Okay, I was gonna say that the televised matches I can't really count as like the worst match because like those are meant to be rushed. Some of those matches aren't meant to be great. So like it's unfair to hold those comparisons. So that's why I kind of went with the pay-per-view matches just to like put a fair, more of a even playing ground on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I thought of it. I do know what the worst match of the year is. The only reason I didn't vote for it is because I didn't watch it, and
Uh-oh.
I couldn't just put it on there without watching it.
What did
It
I
was
watch?
It was the QT Marshall versus the fucking Boom guy.
You're 100% right. That would have been
I
unanimous.
guarantee you that was way worse,
And I'm so glad
but
neither one of us watched it.
I didn't watch it, so
I'm fine with
I
this one.
can't.
I'd rather this
Yeah.
one.
'Cause that's the thing. Me putting it on here implies then to the viewer that I watched it, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't. By the way, I have an amazing story about him that I need to share with you
Your new
on
best
Thursday.
friend.
I have an amazing story about him I have to share with you on Thursday. So sneak peek for anybody watching.
Uh-oh.
That I had an encounter at the Hammerstein Ballroom with this gentleman. And
Uh-oh.
you are not going to want to miss this story. It's
Ladies and gentlemen,
really
you
good.
heard it here first. Thursday, there's a possibility that Juice announces a collaboration.
And I'm not giving you shit. This is a good story.
Yeah,
You'll see.
I can't wait to find out. Damn, I have to wait 3 days now. That sucks. All right, moving
Oh,
on. Best pay-per-view. So this one I was torn between two,
mm.
and I was torn between what I thought was top to bottom the best one, and what I thought personally, like emotionally, was the best one. And I kind of think you're in that same boat, and I think we were between the same two. And I don't want to say it
So
till we go.
Jay says a scoop so good, Alex Marvez hoped he got it. Very true. And Freebird wrote, Matt told me not to miss this, but he's not even here. Wow.
Wow, I told
That
you,
sounds about right
Matt's
for
a
that
scumbag.
sounds about right for Matt.
I told you guys,
Um,
it's a different Matt.
so for best pay per view, it was a no doubter for me. I only had one in mind the entire time, and because the first thing I thought of when I thought of this was something I said earlier this year, if you recall on our show. I called this pay per view the modern day WrestleMania 17.
Yeah,
And
that's what I thought you were going with. All right, no,
and
that's what I thought you were going with.
pop it up. I stand by it. I think this was AEW's greatest pay per view of all time. And I think this is the one that will be looked back on years to come, like a defining show. And maybe people don't agree, but like if you go back and watch that show all night, it was special. Everybody was working their ass off. The crowd was hot. Everything hit. Pay
I
per view of the
agree.
year, hands down.
I agree. And the only one that I was considering was obviously All In, but
Mm,
the I think the emotion, I think the fact that like the crowd knew it was a special, like everything about that night was just
yep.
goosebumps, goosebumps, goosebumps to the last match, goosebumps, goosebumps, goosebumps. So no,
Yep.
I 100% agree with you. Obviously, I think Revolution was just one of the best pay-per-views we've gotten the privilege of watching. And
Yep.
that's hard to say because we've watched a lot of pay-per-views in the last 30 years.
He's right. He's right, everybody. But yeah, assuming this show will end up on Max soon, if any of you have Max and have not seen this show, I highly recommend looking up AEW
Yep,
Revolution and checking it out when it's on there.
I agree.
It's amazing.
I agree. All right.
Now, for the worst pay per view of 2024. So I was between two,
Okay.
and I'll explain what maybe go with the other. But it wasn't that difficult. But I'm curious what you did.
I went with what I was the most disappointed in when I get hyped
Okay.
up about it. And for
Okay.
me, and WWE has done this a lot. And I'm going to spoil a little bit by saying it's a WWE pay-per-view, but
Ooh,
I
no
still
way.
get hyped about their big four pay-per-views, quote unquote, what I consider their big four, even though they don't, which is Survivor Series, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam. And
Mm.
ones in particular I love, and they just miss after miss after miss. And this year was, I think, the worst version of it. So for
Mm.
me, the worst was, and I'm waiting for you to see it,
Yeah.
the Royal Rumble.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Elimination Chamber, completely
Yeah.
agree as well.
Yeah, Chambers missing there, but yes,
Chamber's missing,
WWE
it's all right.
Elimination. It is WWE Elimination Chamber. That was the pay per
You
view
don't know the new pay per
from
view Elimination?
that was the pay per view from Perth, Australia. That was an easy one for me because it was down to WWE Elimination Chamber and WWE Clash at the Castle in Scotland.
Clash of Castles also bad, yeah.
Those two shows were probably the worst of the whole year. I went with Elimination Chamber because it only had 4 matches on the show, not even the usual 5.
It's pathetic that we say it's the usual 5 now, by the way.
One of those 4 was Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax in the main event. Like, terrible match. And then you throw together the Judgment Day defending against New Catch Republic in a nothing match that no one thought was going to change. And then the 2 chamber matches. It's just honestly a glorified Australia house show. They got away with. They fleeced that crowd. I'd be livid if I was from Australia and bought tickets to that.
The criteria you just went through about going through how bad the pay-per-view was, once I picked Royal Rumble and then I was like, let me just double check, because like the Royal Rumble matches I know were bad, but let me double check the undercard and make sure like I still agree with my decision. And oh man, you had the fatal 4-way with Roman Reigns that we all knew was just to get names on there that weren't going to be in the Rumble. You had the Logan Paul Kevin Owens match. That's the one that ended in a DQ. So like you on the same thing where you just had a lot of matches that under-delivered. The Royal Rumble matches were boring. You knew who was going to kind of win those. The only interesting part for us, I think, was just CM Punk being back and seeing how long he would last. But the match itself wasn't a great Royal Rumble match. I want to see Juice throw some shrimp on the bar.
I'll do it. Tune in Thursday.
Yeah, man. But yeah, no, I think both of these pay-per-views are correct in being some of the worst of the year. So good on us again. Got it right.
Terrible.
All right. Best tag team. For me, this is a no-brainer.
So just so our viewers know, we are down to our final 6 awards. Three categories.
Sorry, I do believe the last 4 get flipped to its worst best instead of best worst. Just
that's fine.
Warning you.
Yeah, so we're doing tag teams, female wrestler, and women's wrestler. So this is the home stretch here. Thank you for joining us here tonight for the 2024 SHOOtie Awards. We thank you for welcoming us into your homes. We hope you all had an enjoyable holiday season. We know New Year's is coming up tomorrow, so please be safe out there on the roads. And have your pets spayed and neutered. Thank you. All right, time for best tag team of the year. Danny, I gotta admit, man, I kind of said it before, and I mean it. I think this was a terrible year for tag team wrestling.
I agree, but I think there was one tag team that was special this year. They didn't last as long, but they were special this year. So I'm interested to see what you picked. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I went a different way here. Because Darby and Sting, same thing, only around for a short time. I had a hard time giving tag team of the year to a team that was gone by 3-4 months in.
Yeah.
I don't mind your pick. I love them. So
I understand what you're saying.
Fine. And then Fraxium, if you don't know who that is, that's Nathan Frazier and Axiom from NXT.
Yeah.
Once I really looked over the rosters and thought about it, like, that's the only true tag team I can think of this whole year where they like defended their tag belts, got stronger as a tag team, had a great match catalog, or they were involved on the shows, they were getting over. So I think they're very deserving of tag team of the year. And I know this is probably not a surprise to most, but this is the only positive WWE award I've given out all night. But I think it's very, very deserving for Fraxium. Check out. So I know you don't watch NXT, but I do watch the takeovers or the pay-per-views now. I know they're not called takeovers anymore. But yeah, Fraxium, my tag team of the year. Easy.
Yeah, and I think if I watched them, I probably would have picked them. I heard great things about them. I just haven't seen them. So I was kind of stuck to picking which of the best short title reigns.
Like there's nobody else. Like there's really
I
know you picked the Elite, but like Bucks,
again, the Elite
have a good year.
Wasn't for the tag team. The Elite was for the stable and like what they were doing with the company and the storyline stuff. I know.
No, but
crazy about
I'm
them.
just
But
saying, like as tag champions, as a tag team,
the
doo
New
doo.
Day, they haven't done too much, buddy. They will
Yeah.
probably be. They might be my tag team in 2025. We'll find out. The New Day.
And now it's time for the worst tag team of the year.
This is another no-brainer for me.
So this one
Oh,
was.
you bastard!
Oh wow, you dove right in. Okay.
I didn't know you were going through an argument, a setup. My bad.
No, it's okay. This one was difficult until it wasn't. One of those
Yes.
moments, Danny, when the light bulb goes off. There's no other option. Hands down, the worst tag team of 2024 is the New Day. They're awful people. I hope they all get pneumonia and are not able to enjoy anything in life in 2025.
You probably think KO and Drew are also on the wrong side of history, and they're not.
Oh no, they're absolutely in the right.
All these men are correct in what they feel and what they've done and their actions. And
enjoy your
the fact that you've put this esteemed legendary tag team as the worst of the year because they spoke the truth, I think really speaks to what they're talking about, which is that they haven't gotten the respect they deserve. And that's a problem.
Right. Enjoy living in your warped reality. That's nice.
But
Bloodline,
for me,
Bloodline 2.0.
Bloodline 2.0, Tonga and whatever their stupid names are, the worst tag team champions. One couldn't even hold the belt. When you can't hold a tag team belt the right way, or belts in general the right way, I can't take you seriously. They are the worst tag team. One just barks like an idiot. No one knows what the hell he's doing. The other one is like a statue that kind of gets moved when you blink. I don't know what happens. I hate them both.
Medusa? What the?
I hate them both.
Well, there you go. Our worst tag teams of the year: Bloodline 2.0 and The New Day
Terrible.
win the SHOOTie Awards for worst tag team. Well deserved.
Terrible. All right.
And hey, before we move on to worst female wrestler, just one more quick plug. If you see down below, we're currently at 2 subscribers. We're hoping to get some subscribers back. So if you are watching in here with us or watching on demand, please do. You can either gift us, you can gift somebody else a sub, or use your Amazon Prime account and subscribe to us. We really do appreciate the support going into the new year. We'd like to grow and try some new things, and can't do so without your support. So please do help us out and give us a quick sub. Thank you.
Some of you might subscribe often and just forgot to renew your monthly. If you could please renew that, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much.
Please. I got kids. All right. Moving on now. We are flipping it. We're starting with the worst and going to the best. So this is the worst female wrestler of the year.
Lots of options here. Lots of options.
Yeah, there were. But again, it was one of those ones where kind of once the light bulb hit, there was nobody else to pick.
All right. Let's find out.
I feel good.
Let's find out between both our light bulbs. Yep. Thank you.
There it is.
And this is why we do the show together, because at the end of the day, we might disagree on some things, but the important things we always agree on. Jade Cargill, by far the worst women's wrestler of the year.
Yeah, every single match I saw her in, she botched. Every single match I saw her in, she did something wrong. And Bianca carried. I was close to picking Michin because she sucks, but she only wrestles on SmackDown, and I don't watch SmackDown, so I haven't seen any of her matches this year. But I've seen enough of her matches in the past to know that she's just booty cheeks. So Jade Cargill. Easy pick.
And the reason I picked Jade personally, besides me thinking just overall that she's not good, is that I truly just saw no improvement. So it's not even like I can say oh, she started off really, really bad and is just kind of bad now. It's the same level. It's the same botch. It's the same moves. It's the same everything that is the common mistake. Mm-hmm. On the mic, I don't think she's that great either. I think she just has the look, and that's what they're banking on. So.
And
no,
I'll give you one more little crystal ball forecast. I think the potential for Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania is going to be the worst match of the year.
I really hope they don't do that, but you're so right that they're going to do that.
Stay tuned, gentlemen.
I'm so upset. All right,
ladies, if you're here, ladies.
Next up, now let's go to something nice. We have the best female wrestler of the year. And again, a lot of options, which I enjoyed. I think there were a lot of good female wrestling this year. Between Mercedes Moné, you had Toni Storm, you had Mariah May. On the WWE side, regardless of how you think of their booking, I think Rhea Ripley still had a strong year and is still a good female wrestler. I don't think she was booked well, but I feel like it's...
Barely.
All right. Then
Barely wrestled.
No. Again, I think that's more the booking than her actual talent. I wouldn't pick her as best female. I didn't pick her as best female. But I'm just saying, like, WWE doesn't have no one. They just don't have, I think, as strong as AEW does. But some other names I was going to rattle off was like Tiffany Stratton's been doing some good stuff on WWE's side. On Raw, I'm trying to think. On Raw, not too much, actually. Really in SmackDown. All right. Winners for Best Female. Interesting. I like that.
There you go. Well, if any of you watched the Juicy 50 a few weeks back here on the show, and if you didn't, you can go to our YouTube and watch it now. It's there for on demand. Check out in all its glory. This is not surprising from me.
No.
Yeah, Mariah May. I think she had the best year of anybody. And I mean, you can argue both of our picks, Toni Storm for Danny, Mariah May for myself. I mean, they both helped each other get to that point. So
100%.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing I was gonna say was both of our picks are literally just with each other connected. So I really like that. And both had great years. Toni Storm I kind of picked because she had the strong year going in. She had the great rivalry with Mariah. She dropped the belt, and now this, like we were talking about before, but your debut of the year or whatever, but her resurgence and her second wind of, hey, I'm completely new to the roster, I'm completely new to everything, is awesome. So
I was gonna say it's very ballsy of you to give. It's very ballsy of you to give Women's Wrestler of the Year to a talent that's only been on TV for like 2 weeks. But
you know what?
I
do think she might be a future like 3-time champion. I think she's gonna do some stuff.
Well, let's not jump the gun here. Let's just get a few wins under her belt first.
How dare you, sir? All right.
All right, final 2 awards.
Yes, sir. Brings us to the final 2. Go ahead.
Worst male wrestler of the year. Hands down, only one person can win this award, in my opinion, and they are the most deserving of it ever since Top Dollar of 2023 fame. Let's see who it is.
That's hilarious.
Let's
I hate you.
Go.
That's so funny.
The Costco guy is the worst wrestler of 2024. I don't even know his actual name. I didn't want to look it up and put it in my algorithm. So that's all he gets from me. He is the worst wrestler of 2024, hands down.
Ridiculous. He wrestled one match. I don't even count him as a wrestler.
That's all it takes. And see, that's how bad he is. He counts himself as one. And he's wrestled other matches on the indies, by the way. Because you haven't seen it on TV.
That's fair.
But
fair. I had to go with the person I just hate watching, Solo Sikoa. For Dirty Dom is not the worst wrestler of the year. Kilitsmato, you are uncultured swine. Anyway, Solo Sikoa.
Wow.
Just another one on the mic. No improvement in the ring. No improvement. The way they present him has been terrible. I think him being the leader of this faction that has failed also really just shows how bad he is as a male wrestler. So yeah, for me that was an easy pick. Solo Sikoa, worst male wrestler of the year.
Solo has the tra-la-la.
The Ula.
The Uma tra-la-la. He just walks around with it. Kalima.
That's fair. That means that he has won it all.
You know what? I'm going to make a quick comment about Dirty Dom. I saw a clip the other day of Dom wrestling back during the Thunderdome, like 2020, 2021.
All right.
And I still don't like him, but seeing how he wrestled then versus now, he's kind of, I don't want to say regressed, but he doesn't like wrestle like he used to wrestle. Like he used to do stuff. Now
I think he's trying to wrestle more as a heel, and all that stuff that he was doing was more like babyface stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's
I know.
I'm
just curious if when they turn him babyface next year, which they're gonna.
Yeah,
I'm really curious if they make him change his style or not, because Yeah. I don't know. That's all. Just a little quick little thing. Now, time for the final award of the evening, the best male wrestler of 2024. If I'm a betting man after our conversations last 2 weeks ago at the Juicy 50, I'm pretty sure I know how both of us are going here. So let's pop it up on the screen and see who the best male wrestler is of 2024 in our opinions. Wow.
Who'd you think I was going with?
Okay. Wow. Wow. This didn't. Okay.
Just out of
Well,
curiosity, who'd you think I was going with?
based on our conversation 2 weeks ago, I thought you were going with Cody.
Okay.
Because you made a whole argument last week that Cody, or 2 weeks ago, that Cody had a better year than like Danielson and Osprey and Mariah and Swerve, and I was like, all right.
I was making an argument for it. I was doing the devil's advocate thing for sure, and I
I
was
just
stuck between Cody and Bryan Danielson.
okay. Yeah, but listen, I mean, obviously, I agree with you.
So I'll
I
tell you
just I
what
thought
I'll tell you what's changed. What changed the reason for it was
Freebird.
was when I'm looking at the year as a whole and stuff. Again, I think Cody has done some great stuff. I think Cody has had great matches and did and really carried like Raw and stuff. But somehow, in my opinion, and I didn't look at the numbers just from what I remember and stuff. I feel like Bryan Danielson defended his title so much more than Cody has. Like Cody,
Wait, what?
I feel like Bryan Danielson defended the belt like at a better rate than what Cody's defending the belt.
Oh, well, I think he only defended it like 3 times in like 2 or 3 months. So I think he defended it against Perry and then Mox, and that might have been it. Because Nigel was non-title. Either way.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Nigel was on title. Yeah, see, there you go. But between that and just the retirement itself, I feel like Bryan Danielson had just
Yeah.
a wonderful year, and I'm going to miss him. And I think this pick was more of a emotional than a statistical pick for me.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, here's something crazy for you. If Osprey won the Continental Classic this past weekend, I was gonna make him my wrestler of the year. I was gonna change it right there on the spot. So
And that's something we talk about on Thursday.
yeah, we'll
All
get there.
right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed our Shooties of 2024. Lots of good picks, lots of surprising picks. I don't think anything that anyone was really that upset about, except for maybe one or two, and that's all right, Juice. You'll get over them. But I think all picks this year were pretty much on the mark, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Let us know how you guys feel. Let us know if you guys would pick someone different, anything like that. And John Cena was never going to be a possibility. Sorry, guys.
Hey, next year we'll see how next year goes
Next
for
year
him.
might be a strong candidate. We'll see. Having a
Mm.
retirement year like Bryan Danielson, well, who knows what'll happen next year.
Be a very interesting 2025.
All right. So once again, please don't forget to give us a subscribe if you can before you go. Don't forget to check out our Facebook, Twitch. We have now TikTok.
Tiki talk.
Everything that you would like to see us on, please check us out and join us on Thursday for our usual time at 7 p.m. usual day where we go over everything that's happened in like 2 weeks. So we're going to try to limit it, obviously, but we have a lot to talk about. So it's going to be an interesting Thursday.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, we got to talk about your Costco guy too.
Oh Lord.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, please have a very happy New Year, like Juice said before. Careful
Be
tomorrow
safe.
night. Make sure if you are drinking, you are not driving, or you get an Uber, or you stay where you are. We want to see you all on Thursday. Have a great night, everybody. Yeah. Where is this? There we go. So loud.
I'm here. Hi. No. I'll try my best to figure out how I'm gonna pace out the AEW bullet points. I might just make Hammerstein Ballroom like one bullet point and do what I can. I'll do what I can. I won't go crazy. Um, then something to think about now with January coming up, we have a full month of nothing set. So obviously